Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to see you here as we continue our journey with Mrs. Harper, the librarian who's been learning SQL to make her work easier. If you do not remember Mrs. Harper, let me tell you about Mrs. Harper. So she's a librarian on a mission. Her library has thousands of books covering all kinds of genres and publication years. In the beginning, she had a hard time keeping things organized. Books were piling up, searching requests were taking forever, and she had to dig through stacks of books just to find that one book. But things started to change for her as she started learning SQL. Now she can use it for searching the books, filter them on the basis of what she needs, and even organize her entire collection. Starting to feel more confident and in control of her library. However, today Mrs. Harper has a new challenge. Sometimes her searches aren't so straightforward. It's not just about finding books by one author or for one year. She needs to combine different conditions to get exactly what she's looking for. For example, what if she wants to find a collection of books which are written by two authors? Or maybe she wants to find a book that meets one condition but not the other. This is where SQL logical operators can help. So the three different type of logical operators that we can use are and, or, and not. These operators gives her the tools so that she can handle even the most complicated searches. So let's join Mrs. Harper as she learns how we can make use of these powerful tools. Okay, so let's go to the first problem that Mrs. Harper is facing. So Mrs. Harper wants to find books that meets two conditions simultaneously. For example, she is looking for books which are published after 1900 and are written in Hindi. So she's looking for two conditions. The first condition is that the books should be published after 1900, and the second condition is that the book should be written in Hindi. So let's take a look at the table once. So we are having book ID, title, author, genre, year published, and the language as well. We can see that some of the books that she has, they are either in English or in Hindi. So she wants to retrieve the information in a way so that she is only getting the data values which have been published after 1900. So there are two conditions that needs to be met. So what she can do is she can follow this same code, select start from books, and then she can make use of the where clause to specify the conditions that needs to be met. So the first condition that needs to meet is that year published should be greater than 1900. And the second condition that needs to be met is that, and the language in which the book should be written is in Hindi. So she will specify the language as Hindi. So since we want to work with two conditions, we can make use of the logical operator and. So what and does is that while retrieving the values from this table books, it will retrieve all those values where both these conditions are met. If these conditions are not met, the values won't be returned. So right now we can see that we are having three books that are written in Hindi. And out of these three books, one of them is written in 1936, one of them is written in 1910, and one of them is written in 1888. So out of these three entries, two of them, they are written after 1900. So this particular select statement will return us these two entries. Let's try to run it. You can see in our table, there are only two rows. There are only two entries in the table, which satisfies the condition of years published more than 1900. And the language is also Hindi for those books. So the AND operators ensures that both the conditions are met. So the result is that Mrs. Harper now has neatly filtered the list of books that are written in Hindi and are printed after 1900. So the second problem that Mrs. Harper faces is that she wants to broaden her searches. So she is looking for books that are either written in Hindi or they are the books with genre fiction. So she's looking for books that are written in Hindi or they are fiction. So for doing that, she will again make use of select statement. So right now she wants all the columns for this table. So we will make use of asterisk, and then we will make use of from, and then the name of the table, books. After that, we will make use of the where clause, and then we will mention the conditions that needs to meet. So the first condition that she wants to have is that the language should be Hindi. And the second condition that she wants to meet is that the genre of the books, it should be fiction. So she wants any of these conditions to be fulfilled when she's trying to retrieve the data. So for making sure that either of the conditions are met, we can make use of logical OR. So logical OR gives us the functionality such that if either of the condition is met, so it will return the entry with its corresponding columns. All right, so let's try to run our code now. So as soon as we've clicked on run, we can see that it is satisfying either of these conditions. So all of these entries, either they have the genre as fiction. If the genre is not fiction, then the language for that corresponding entry, it is Hindi. So the data that we are able to retrieve by making use of logical OR has the Hindi as the language, or it is having English as the genre. So OR functionality gives us the freedom to work around with different conditions. So let's complicate things for ourselves now. So whenever Mrs. Harper is looking for thriller, or she's looking for a history book, or maybe a poetry, she's always tired of seeing books that are of the genre fiction. She wants to exclude them entirely regardless of other criterias. So if we want to exclude a search, we can make use of not operator. So let's take a look at how we can do it. Let's try to comment this. So let's make use of select. First of all, we want to have every row. Then we have specified the name of the book. So the condition that we are looking for is that we do not want any entry of the table where the genre is fiction. So for doing that, she will make use of a not operator right next to the condition which she wants to check. This is the condition that she wants to check, that the genre should not be fiction. So for making sure that the genre are not fiction, we have made use of not operator right next to the condition. So not operator makes sure that this particular condition is not satisfied. Let's try to run it. So over here, we can see that every genre is accepted except the genre fiction. So it displays everything except for the entries which have the genre as fiction. So right now we have learned how to make use of AND operator which satisfies both the conditions, OR operator which satisfies either of the condition, and logical NOT which specifies the negation of that particular condition. So now that we have learned about different types of logical operators, the good thing about SQL is that we can make use of these operators together for making our search much more efficient and much more flexible. So let's just say Mrs. Harper is looking for some old books which are written before 1800, and they specifically should be written in English, and she wants to make sure that they are not fiction. So there are three things that we want to satisfy. So the first thing is that the language should be English. It should be an old classic. So she wants the books which are written before 1900, and she wants to have books which are not fiction. Not fiction. So we want to satisfy these three conditions. Let's try to see how we can make use of logical operators for satisfying these conditions. So for doing that, we will make use of select statement, select from the table books, and then we will make use of where clause for specifying the conditions. So the first condition that we want to specify is that the language of the book should be in English. The second condition that we want to specify is the year published should be before 1900. And the third condition that we need to specify is that the genre should not be fiction. So for making sure that the genre is not fiction, we add not operator before the column, before the condition. So we have specified three conditions, that the language is English, the year published is less than 1900, and the genre is not fiction. And for combining all these three conditions, we have made use of AND operator so that every condition is satisfied. Let's try to run it. Okay, let's try to comment this first. Yeah. So as soon as we have clicked on run, we can see that only one book is returned. Over here, we can see that we're having only one book in return, which is following all the three conditions. The first is that the language is English. The year published is less than 1900, and the genre is not fiction, so it is romance. So Mrs. Harper is amazed at how and or and not makes her searches more dynamic and efficient. With these operators, she can filter, expand, or even exclude results to meet her exact needs. And that's the power of logical operators in SQL. It is creating focused searches, creating multiple criteria, combining multiple criteria, or excluding unwanted results. So these tools will make your database queries much more precise and flexible. I hope the different examples gave you a clear sight of how we can make use of the logical operators. It's now your turn to make use of logical operators. I hope you had a good time. Happy coding, everyone.